And we are live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Gentlemen of Crypto, episode 411. Today is Thursday, June 13th, and I'm your host, Bitcoin Zay, here to bridge the gap between cryptocurrency and the community, Monday through Friday at 3-ish. Oh, yeah, I have some great news for you today, starting with our top story. Bakkt names launch date for Bitcoin futures testing. McAfee, John McAfee, that is, trading platform suffers DOS attack upon launch. Crypto wallet provider BRD partners with Wire to roll out U.S. bank transfer support. And last but not least, new FATF rules to turn Bitcoin exchanges into banks. And for that story, I do want to shout out our crypto warriors that caught that from yesterday. Definitely have to talk about it today. But first, let's talk about some market updates. So far, having a good day in crypto right now. Bitcoin right now is at 8,300 right now, up 2% on the day. XRP is at 40 cents, up 1% for the day. Ethereum is hovering around $262, up 1.67%. Bcash, man, exploded today about 7%, up to $421. EOS still in the $6 range at $655 at 2.73% increase. And Litecoin cooling off a little bit at $133, down 1%, but has been the highest grossing crypto over the last few weeks. So those are your top 6 cryptocurrency prices. And let's jump into our chat, see who we have in here today. Oh, yeah, Monique, Michelle, thank you for joining in. How you doing? AJ Harris, Dex, how you doing, man? Thank you for tuning in. Thank you all. We got a few more people rolling in on YouTube. Try to make sure we get everybody in here before we keep going. So, first story, our top story of the day, Bakkt names launch date for Bitcoin futures testing. Oh, yeah, finally we get some news from these guys. Bakkt right now is sort of the butt of a lot of jokes. If you don't know anything about Bakkt, they've been talking about having a futures platform forever. They finally have some news about it coming out. Bakkt was turning into Detox from Dr. Dre coming out. I thought Detox was going to come out before Bakkt came out, but they have finally come out and said they will be testing their first product, physically delivered Bitcoin futures, on July 22nd. Bakkt, which has seen multiple delays, as I've just described, over regulatory compliance since its original announcement back in 2018, August 2018. It will offer futures in its first series of offerings, which the full details still remain unclear, which is crazy to me because at this point, you've had plenty of news time. You've had plenty of news dates. We're coming. We're on the way. We're about to come out. You got people hyped. A lot of people have been talking about it. Still nothing. So their actual quote here is, "This is no small step. This launch will usher in a new standard for accessing crypto markets. Compared to other markets, institutional participation in crypto remains constrained due to limitations like market infrastructure and regulatory certainty." So what they're basically saying is they want to be the new standard for you to access crypto, just like every other company. We've seen this in other exchanges. We've seen other ideas. One of the companies we'll talk about today, actually, Circle is one of them. That's one of the companies that started out like, hey, we can, do something different. But they had to shut down. So everybody thinks they have the best way to access crypto markets. However, it looks like Bakkt will finally have some Bitcoin futures coming out. This comes the same week after it shows that the CME group had a record high in volume. So I'm sure they're sitting back like, hey, man, we got to launch. We got record highs in volume. We have people actually using futures. Bitcoin may start this bull run over the stretch before May 2020, where we have the halvening. So Bakkt is definitely going to get in before then. I think they're using regulation as a cover, but I think they're going to launch around that time because that's going to be a good date. So July 22nd may be a good time to look at buying Bitcoin. So let's take a look at what we have in here now. Everybody pouring in on YouTube. D. Sharon, what's going on, brother? Tommy Brown, Ray Mata, what's good, man? Julita McGowan, how you doing? Tessa, good to have you here. Milto, Cornelius Broadna. Oh yeah, Donald Muhammad. Make sure you smash that like button. Shout out to everybody on Facebook as well. So let's jump to our next story. One of our favorites here, John McAfee. John McAfee's trading platform has suffered a DOS attack right after it launched. If you've seen anything he's done on Twitter, some of the news stories, I believe one was in Forbes or Fortune magazine. John McAfee is going all out. He said he has a few terabytes worth of data on senators and people in the government that have done shady stuff, and that he's going to release it if they don't meet whatever demands he has. Who knows? But we all know he's living on a boat somewhere on a remote location. but he's still running for president, and he's a cryptocurrency enthusiast. So he started his own trading platform, and we've pretty much covered him. And it looks like here his trading platform was immediately targeted by hackers with a denial of service attack following its launch. Can't win them all, John. Hey, as soon as you start a platform and it gets attacked, I'm pretty sure it has something to do with what he's been saying on Twitter and kind of what he's about. You know, he's more about, you know, sovereignty and being on his own. So you're going to have some enemies if you're going to do that, buddy. And John McAfee has gotten into he's gotten into a lot of trouble before for not paying taxes, for threatening government officials. He has his own cybersecurity and physical security, so he'll have to deal with it. But according to the Post, the web servers for the McAfee Magic, such a corny name, trading platform, were hit with a cloaked, and bear with me, guys, high orbit ion cannon DOS attack. Wow, HOIC DOS attack. Cybersecurity website Imperver describes this attack as stressing a network by flooding target systems with junk, get, and post requests. So for those of you who are tech savvy, you'll get what that means. However, for those of you who are not, it basically means that he has some enemies that as soon as this trading platform went up, they wanted to make sure they flooded it with so many requests, couldn't handle it, website went down. So he said that it was operational again the same day. And he said he still intends to roll out his McAfee Freedom Coin. That is another corny name, but McAfee, like I said, the reason we like him is because he's kind of, you know, just a, hey, I do what I want type of guy. But he does have his flaws, and in my opinion, these coins are nothing more than a fundraising technique. You don't really need it, and even in the white paper, it doesn't really describe anything new. But hey, that's what he wants to do. It's a free world. So he said he wants the token to have no value derived from any other asset. He said it's not based on any other commodity. But unfortunately for him, he has a lot of enemies. So even if he gets the coin out, he may not be able to use an exchange. If he has the exchange that on his exchange to get it for Bitcoin, it may get hit with DOS attacks until it's non-operational. So McAfee, he'll have to deal with that. Let's see who we got here. Shanette Williams, McAfee, 31 terabytes. Yeah, that's what he was saying. He said he has 31 terabytes worth of information. And if his demands aren't met, he's going to basically, you know, release it to everybody. So we'll see if he's just talking or if he's serious. But he's definitely getting hit with some attacks right now, definitely with this exchange. So let's see who else we got in here today. Tessa Hall, yeah, John McAfee, you know how it is. Will, thank you for joining us today. Cheers to you all. As we move forward to our next story of the day, crypto wallet provider BRD partners with Wire to roll out U.S. bank transfer support. So for those of you who may be new or may not have watched the show, BRD is one of the wallets that you can get on your phone that we have. One of our warriors who's actually works for BRD, and we've done an interview with one of the guys from BRD as well. They have one of the best products in my opinion, and it looks like now they have a partnership with a blockchain payments and infrastructure firm, Wire, that will enable US-based customers, thank goodness, probably not New York though, I wouldn't hold my breath from New York, to purchase cryptocurrencies using bank transfers. So according to the press release, US customers will be able to buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, and DAI, D-A-I, by directly linking their BRD wallet to their bank account and making a low-fee transfer. So we know capitalism, people got to make their money, but convenience, you pay in for convenience because there wasn't on Airbits, you were able to use something called Glidera at some point to do the same thing. So that was very easy to go in within the app, link your bank account. You could buy a few hundred or I believe up to 1,000 a day worth of Bitcoin, transfer it instantly, and you could use it. You didn't have to wait for the Coinbase or the big exchange where it would take 7 days or whatever. So definitely a great way to use it. In the statement, Aaron Lasher, who is the chief strategy officer and co-founder, he said that the new services aims to ensure that the blockchain sector remains decentralized and inclusive. Definitely inclusive. If you have a cell phone, you can download the BRD wallet right now. You can have different cryptocurrencies listed. You can choose which ones. And whenever you earn Bitcoin or if you buy some, you can transfer it there and have it instantly. So shout out to BRD. Like we said, one of our warriors actually was watching our show, then ended up working for the company, which is great. We've had him on a few times, so that's great to see. Wire, which is the company that's going to help with this, has traded over $3.5 billion in crypto assets and in commercial FX payments over $1 billion. So good to see from them. They have a pretty good track record as well. We have a few people in here. Good to see you. D. Duncan, thank you for joining in. Thank you, Destin, for joining in as well. And I'm sure we have some more people on YouTube here. How you doing, Tony Nolly? Thank you for joining in today as well. So we're going to jump into our last story of the day. Once again, we had one of our warriors, I'm not sure who, actually mentioned the FATF yesterday. And it was one of the stories that came out later. So we found it, and I wanted to discuss new FATF rules to turn Bitcoin exchanges into banks. Wow, people, it's happening right now. Bitcoin exchanges were regarded as just a place where you could just transfer for cash. It wasn't a big deal. Then it started getting big in 2017. So now we need all these regulations. Now they are taking it too far, man. They have updated how national regulators should treat businesses dealing with cryptocurrency tokens, which will officially go public on the 21st of this month. So June 21st is when this will go public. Its impact is not entirely clear, but the basic rule the FATF wants to implement is any transaction on an exchange over 1,000 will require your personal information. So you cannot get rich without them knowing. That is one thing they will make sure regulation-wise. If you want to trade it on our exchanges, we'll turn it into a bank. Anything over 1,000, we need that name. We need your social security number. We need your blood type. We need what day you took your first step. All of that. So they have many ways to do KYC and AML. Unfortunately, you have to do it on a lot of exchanges now. For businesses such as exchanges and asset managers, the requirements stipulate the recipient of funds must also be identified, something that is impossible with decentralized cryptocurrencies if you use decentralized exchanges or if you have a privacy coin. So that is something you can do to get around it. The FATF supposedly can only make recommendations. So they aren't passing laws, but if they make these recommendations, people are going to listen to it. So that's why this is important for them to see. And this is a terrible way to go about regulation. This blanket approach to say anything over 1,000 has too much risk involved and maybe money. $1,000 really in the grand scheme of things, especially for businesses. I understand giving information, but that threshold is pretty low for the everyday person. So it states here that as part of a staged approach, the FATF will prepare updated guidance on a risk-based approach to regulating virtual asset service providers. So I'm sure your Coinbases and Upholds and some of these local Bitcoins, I'm sure they'll definitely have some influence from this. And of course, the G20 is involved. The members pledge to implement the organization's suggestions in full. So whenever they meet at G20, they're going to try and implement whatever regulations based on what the FATF says. So people, we keep telling you it's coming. They're going to try and turn Bitcoin exchanges into banks, operated the same way. But the one thing they don't realize is Bitcoin is not for banks. We are the competition. Right now, you have to bridge the gap to try and get people to know what you're talking about. But we are the competition. So hopefully people recognize it and people don't go for the okie doke. Because if it turns back into just banks again, that's what we're trying to get away from, people. Nobody wants to see another recession. So let's see who we have in here now. Wire Sparks. Oh, yeah, definitely use a DEX. Trish NYC 123. Yeah, this is terrible news. Yeah, FATF even making a recommendation is bad in my opinion. I hate that. Florida Coatings Pro Atomic DEX soon for Komodo. Yes, indeed. A lot of atomic swaps, decentralized exchanges, those type of technologies where you can do any type of transaction without KYC. Any project like that is going to take off. We've been saying that for years. That's why we like CryptoCoin, a privacy coin. I think BISC is a decentralized one that's really good. There's a few other ones as well. So definitely a good way. Harold George, which terrorists or criminals are using cryptos like that anyway? Isn't ISIS using dollars and oil? Yes, that's always been our point, is that crypto accounts for less than 0.1% of the total money laundering crime and crimes that go on. And also, it's a terrible way to move money because you can track it on the blockchain. There are ways to do it private, but you have to be tech savvy and you have to have the money if you have such a big organization like ISIS to do that. So seriously doubt it. Let's see. Trish NYC 123. All it's going to do, make folks do $9.99.99. Yeah, exactly. They're just going to do that over and over for the rest of the year, but it does slow it down, I guess, from a price gain. Let's see. Did Chiron, us early adopters may escape some of this? Exactly. That's why I'm glad we got the Warriors watching today and people on Facebook as well, because we can help each other. People have already started coming up with solutions, getting wallets, hardware wallets, and things of that nature to prepare yourself for when exchanges become ultimately all just banks again. There will be other solutions, people. So let's see. Ray Mata, Kawhi said he wants to get paid in Bitcoin. He shouldn't now go to say tonight. Yeah, I wish. That probably will happen tonight, but hopefully Golden State can pull through with it. But looks like we have no more questions on Facebook. Thank you for joining in, Joseph. But let's see. Florida Coatings, are you going to the Mining Disrupt event in Miami? No, wasn't planning on it. Actually don't go to a lot of conferences unless I'm speaking, unless I'm on panels. Got a lot to do out here in LA. So all good. I want to thank you all for watching. Definitely great news stories today. I want to make sure you all remember Bitcoin in Black America book coming out soon. Pre-sale will be up very, very soon. And as well as Blockchain, you can still visit it now and sign up on the website as well. So thank you all for watching. Hope you all have a great Thursday, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Cheers.